Jumping into the last game I want to discuss, it's going to be our Sunday night matchup, prime time, 7:30 in Orlando. Chaz, since you are our resident FSU alum, I'll let you get first crack at this game. We got LSU and FSU, rematch of the opening week last year down in Orlando. Tell me what you think about this game, what you expecting, what you want to see.
Listen, as we established last week, LSU is going to be a good team. Jaden Daniels is probably the most fun quarterback to watch. The guy's an athlete, absolute stud athlete. LSU is going to be without a lot of special key players. Remind me of that guy's name, the defensive lineman. That's like amazing.
I believe it's Mason Smith. He's going to be out.
Yes. Yeah. So they're going to be struggling with the roster. They've also had a very tumultuous last several weeks. They've had several fights in their practice leading up to the game. I don't know what the chemistry is on that team. I don't know if Brian Kelly really does a good job of manufacturing a good chemistry for a team to begin with. But I do know that FSU's chemistry is amazing. I've been told that everyone is bought in. Everyone has their heads down and they're just grinding. Jordan Travis has put on some weight. He knows what he's about. From what I've been told, he hasn't gotten in his head about it all. And it is going to be a great game. I think it's going to go down the wire like it did last year. Because here's the thing. There is a clear divide between SEC and ACC. Florida State might be the best ACC team in the country right now, in the ACC. LSU is probably the second or third best SEC team. There's such a talent gap there. So no matter how high FSU gets, they're still not quite SEC material. So I do think it's going to go down the wire. I obviously think FSU is going to win. And I believe the spread is 2.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 2.5 in LSU's favor.
Say again?
It is 2.5 in LSU's favor right now as we speak.
Okay. Yeah. I think FSU is going to win. But I'm sure it'll only be by a possession. The over/under is 56. I'll take that. I think that's a good over/under. I'll probably take the over on that one.
For sure.
Yeah,
I would take the over on that. It could be over in the first half. I don't know.
For sure.
I tell you what, there's a lot of things about this. There's lots of, sidebar conversations about this game. For one, Mason Smith being ineligible to me is, I can't believe they did that to the kid. I mean, it's just
stupid.
He was out every game last year. Well, he played the first game and they got hurt in the first half, and so he missed 13 games last year, whatever it was. Why in the world would? I mean, first of all, LSU should have said, okay, he's back ready for the bowl game, and then they would have said, well, he's ineligible because of this, and then we would be talking about it right now.
Well, funny you say that. Brian Kelly was scrambling to schedule a week 0 matchup that did not matter. So his suspension would be served in week 0, and he'd be eligible for this game. They tried. They tried their best. They couldn't get it done.
I just think the NCAA is very petty with this because, a month after this supposedly happened, it was totally legal. I mean, I don't know. It's just, you got to have rules. You got to abide by the rules. I get it. But I don't know. It's unfortunate that Mason Smith can't play because I think that, and no one has compared him to Jalen Carter. I don't think you can compare anybody to Jalen Carter. But just based on what I've seen when his recruiting process, and kind of paid a little bit of attention to him while he was being recruited because Georgia was in the mix on that, and just seeing and hearing how he recovered from this offseason or this injury, and he could be a difference maker like Jalen Carter was on that defensive front. So not having him in that game is it's good for Florida State. It's not good for LSU, obviously. And I think that could be the difference in the game. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say that one player, especially defensive lineman, is going to make a big difference in that big of a difference in the game. But this is a game. This is probably going to be one of the best games of the season. I think. I think that right now the question marks that you have about LSU is that defensive backfield, and what are they going to be like? Denver Harris transferred in, and apparently he is not the transfer that they thought he was going to be. He was number 2 cornerback in the portal that came, and apparently he's just not.
And where did the number 1 quarterback in the portal go, Chaz?
I wonder.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, where did the number 1 cornerback in the portal go, Chaz? If I remember correctly.
Cornerback. I think he went.
Am I mistaken that Fintrell Cypress was the number 1 quarterback and went to FSU?
I thought maybe Caleb. What's that dude's name that went to?
Cormani McLean?
No,
Because he was a freshman recruit. You talking about Jordan
no.
Travis?
Some of the kid that went out there to Hunter. No, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter? I don't know that he was listed as a cornerback.
I don't know. I don't know what is this.
He was? Oh, okay. Well, still, I think Fintrell Cypress is better than him at cornerback. So, debate for another day.
Yeah, but still. So the question marks are going to be, for one, that defensive backfield for LSU. I think another question mark really is going to be for LSU is last year Shane Daniels did not start the season very well. So how is he going to be starting out? I know that he finished the season very well. His last half of the year last year, he did really good. But how well is he going to be to start the season? Is he going to be able to get the ball out? Is he going to be able to, when he gets out of that pocket, breaks the pocket, man, he's elusive. Apparently he's gained a little bit of weight, so that's good. I still think that Florida State has every one of their wide receivers are taller than 6'3", and if Johnny Wilson can catch a football, I think Florida State's going to beat him. Johnny needs to stop making those. He had a lot of drops last year. I think that that could be costly if you don't catch the football. If he catches what he's supposed to, and Jordan Travis can do what he did last year with his legs, man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be exciting. I pick Florida State to win that game.
All right, we got 2 picks for FSU. Chaz, can you hear me all right?
We may have lost.
I think Chad's having a little trouble.
I can hear you.
There he is. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we got 2 picks for FSU. Chaz, do you have a score prediction for me? If not, that's fine. I was just curious.
Ooh.
I don't want to stake you to anything, but if you have one, let me hear it.
I'm going to go 45-42 FSU.
Whoa! All right, so he's got a barn burner, man. What you got, Chuck? Yeah.
I got 34-31 FSU.
Interesting. Okay, so this has been little sneak peek behind the curtain for me. Every single week, I try and pick the winner to every FBS game that's going to be played. All 100 and whatever teams that play each week, or sometimes it's less than that. I try and pick the winner of every game. This was the last one that I picked for this upcoming weekend because it was so hard. I literally think you could flip a coin to try and pick the winner of this game. I think it's going to be so close. But after giving it a lot of thought today, I thought on this one for close to 30 minutes, maybe even closer to an hour. I kind of tried to break it down. So I started with thinking about who won the transfer portal this offseason. LSU had a better class.
Whoa! You think LSU had a better transfer class than FSU?
247 Sports does, so I would agree. I think they did.
Okay. I would disagree with that, but go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
Whose coach do I trust more? I don't love Brian Kelly, but I like it more than Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell single-handedly lost that NC State game last year.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
And if I'm picking a defense, that is almost a pick 'em right there. So, and the offense, I have no doubts that either one of those offenses are going to put up yards and put up points. So, just very, very slightly, I got to give the edge to LSU. I think 2.5 is probably too much. I think I'd pick them to win by half a point if I could. But that's not possible. So I think it may be a 1-point game again this year, but I think it may be a 1-point game in LSU's favor. And like I said, the real deciding factor between the coaches for me was FSU had that game won by 2 touchdowns last year, and then Mike Norvell happened. They had the ball with a 1-touchdown lead on like the 2 going in. Calls a quick pitch, turns into a fumble. LSU drives 99 yards, potentially ties the game up, but then FSU blocks an extra point. If FSU had not blocked the field goal earlier in that game, LSU wins that football game. Yeah. I think last year LSU was the better team. I think this year LSU is going to be the better team, but it's going to be by just a little bit. And it's funny because I think last year the game was really close because they both played horribly. I think this year the game is going to be close because both teams are going to play great. And I think this game has the potential to have massive college football playoff implications. It could be the swing vote for or against either one of these teams coming into the end there. I think LSU, again, I think they're going to come into this hungrier because of the way last year ended. And like I said, I'm just going to give the nudge just a little bit more to LSU, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I think it's going to be a close one. And if I got to give it a score, I'm going to go 31-30. That's my final score. 31-30, LSU takes the win.
Wow, 31-30. Nice. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. You're listening to the XL Sports Network and the College Football Drive at 5. Back in a minute and a half.